So good morning everybody, I'm Arthur and I'm here to talking about some early predictions about WrestleMania 34, not just about the full match card but even about some returns or appearances at WrestleMania 34. Let's begin with the kickoff. Let's start with the kickoff, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That's a normal thing, you know. I don't have lots of things to talk about this match because this is a thing that we see year by year. So the only thing I've got to tell you about this match is that this match is going to involve superstars. Like, for example, this match is going to involve those teams from SmackDown brand, in my opinion, that are not into the match for the SmackDown tag team titles. Yeah, I'm talking about superstars like Breezango or even X Section. I don't think that those teams are going to be into the match for the SmackDown's tag team titles, but I'm going to talk about that match later. This match is going to involve other superstars like the Big Show. That's normal. I don't know, some cruiserweight superstars, WWE 205 Live superstars, or even NXT superstars. I don't know, or even, and that's the thing that I hope it's not true. I hope this is not going to happen. That Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt are going to be into this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Well, this is a completely mistake because Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, um, they have been into a feud since November. They already had a match in the past. And for me, this makes no sense because it feels like they are going to put them feud into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal with other superstars. It makes no sense for me. What makes sense is to see both Matt and Bray in a match at WrestleMania, but I'm going to talk about it better later. But what I know um, is that if this is true, I hope not, but if that's true, it feels like WWE are going to put Matt and Bray feud into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal because of the fact that the card is too full. That's a stupid reason. It makes no sense for me. But I'm going to talk about that match better later. So let's talk about the next match for kickoff. And this is a brand new match for me, and I don't know if this is actually going to happen. But in my opinion, there is going to be a women's battle royal also, not only a men's battle royal like the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, but a women's battle royal too. Why? Because it feels like I heard rumors that WWE wants want to put lots of matches in women's division. I heard even that this is going to be a women's WrestleMania because there are going to be more women's matches than usual. The other reason why I think this is going to happen, it's because there are lots of important women wrestlers with no matches. I'm talking about Mickey James, for example, that returned last year, Bailey. What are going to happen with those superstars? In Bailey's case, I don't even know. Well, I have an idea, but I'm going to talk about it later. But as we know, for us women of WWE against for us women of MMA, of UFC, whatever, is not going to happen as it was supposed to happen. So, if that's true, what is going to happen with Bailey at WrestleMania? I don't know. The other fact is that this women's battle royal can have lots of important feuds. I don't know if you have noticed, but for example, the feud that happened at Royal Rumble match, at Women's Royal Rumble match between Trish Stratus and Mickie James, can be continued at Women's Battle Royale at WrestleMania. That's an important scenario for me. The other rivalries, for example, Nikki Bella against Brie Bella. Well, I know this match is not so accept and so comfortable to believe in that is going to happen, but that makes sense at some point because I don't remember already, but one of those Bellas eliminated his twin. I don't know if it was Brie Bella or even Nikki Bella, but whatever. If that happened, this makes sense to have a rivalry between Nikki Bella and Brie Bella. Whatever, if it, into this women's battle royal. Whatever, if it is into the women's battle royal or into a normal singles match. But I don't think that is going to happen. And even the rivalry between Bayley and Sasha Banks. I think this rivalry is going to happen by one way or another. What does I mean? What do I mean? I think Bayley and Sasha Banks feud is going to start during the Elimination Chamber night or the week after Elimination Chamber. Because, I don't know, but these two girls have no match for WrestleMania. They have no match for WrestleMania. Superstars like this can't be out of WrestleMania. Divas like this, Bayley and Sasha Banks, they are incredible wrestlers. They should be not out of WrestleMania. That's a completely mistake, in my opinion. So by one way or another, I think this should happen. This feud should happen in Women's Battle Royal or into a match between Bayley and Sasha Banks on pre-show. Kick off a singles match. Next, Cruiserweight Championship match. Well, we don't know exactly how the finals are going to be, what wrestlers are going to be into the Cruiserweight finals, into that Cruiserweight tournament announced by Rockstar Spud. But I think the finals is going to be nothing more than a match between Hideo Itami and Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight title. I don't have lots of things to tell you about this because I guess I don't see Cruiserweight matches. I don't see WWE 205 Live. I don't even see NXT, just sometimes. So now you can imagine that I never watch WWE 205 Live. That's why I don't have lots of things to tell you about this match, but I would like to see even Ricochet into these finals because as we know Ricochet is scheduled to be into one of those matches that are incorporated into the tournament. Even knowing that Ricochet is into NXT's roster, I would like to see it happen. Another thing that I would like to see is Rey Mysterio. Well, we know that Rey Mysterio returned just for one night. It was just a one-night contract with WWE during the Royal Rumble match. But Rey Mysterio can make another a part-timer contract, or even that's what he wants to do. But WWE wants him as a full-timer and not as a part-timer. But I think Rey Mysterio can have another one-night contract with WWE, and that night can be at WrestleMania 34. And so what I dream of is we have scheduled to see Hideo Itami against Cedric Alexander, and they are into the middle of the ring. And now, just like last year with the Hardys, there is someone that announced at last minute that there is one more superstar into that match. And at that moment, That superstar is nothing more than Rey Mysterio. He's a great cruiserweight in my opinion, even knowing that he deserves more than just a simple cruiserweight match. But I think that would be a very great scenario if it happened, if it has to happen. Now let's talk about the USA title match. This one, I don't know if it's going to happen at kickoff because it feels like WWE is having a better WrestleMania this year with better matches and with more time because this year it is scheduled to had more 30 minutes or even an hour for the show. So 7 hours and a half or even 8 hours with the show kickoff plus uh, uh, plus the show itself. So if there are more matches, and I think there are going to be at least 15 matches, there should be 15 matches. Last year it was 13 matches. So I think this year there is going to be 4 matches into the kickoff show, not only 3. Because if we have 2 more matches, or those matches are going to be too little, or WrestleMania is going to be more longer, as I said. But I don't think it is going to be only because of the matches. I think there are going to be some surprises or even some performances by Kid Rock or Flo Rida because of the WrestleMania 34 theme songs. But if it has to be longer, I think there are going to be 4 matches into the kickoff show and not only 3. But whatever. In the USA title match, this is a match that makes me a bit confused about it because I don't know if this is going to be a one-on-one match or even a ladder match for the for the United States title with superstars like Bobby Roode, of course, Ty Dillinger, Dolph Ziggler, Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton, Baron Corbin, or Mojo Rawley. I don't know. But for example, in case of Randy Orton, it feels like Randy Orton has no match for WrestleMania yet, and he wants to take a break before WrestleMania. But please, Randy Orton, do not make that. WrestleMania 34 is the biggest event of the year. I don't want you to miss WrestleMania 34, especially a superstar like you. You're a great superstar, and I believe you are not going to miss WrestleMania 34 because you already missed WrestleMania 32 because of your injury last year. You had a match against Bray Wyatt, so this year I hope you're going to be at WrestleMania 34 again. Randy Orton, you can take a break after WrestleMania 34, even the night after, but until WrestleMania 34, please be into that card. But I don't know if Randy Orton is going to be into this USA title match because I have some other rumor plans for him that I'm going to tell you later. But whatever, if those superstars that I said are going to be into the USA title match, for example, Ty Dillinger, I believe that if he's not into this match, he's going to be into another giant. And that's what is going to happen with other superstars like Jinder Mahal or even Mojo Rawley. I don't know. There's so much thing going on about this WrestleMania. So things that makes us a bit confused, I guess. Now let's talk about the Raw Tag Team titles. And this is another thing that I'm not 100% completely sure about what is going to happen. But I think there is going to be a match between The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus against Revival. And who knows, against Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson in a triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team titles. Or even a fatal 4-way with Walk and Hardys on the mix. But I don't know because Uh, Jeff Hardy had an injury. I don't know if he's able to compete until WrestleMania 34 night. And Matt Hardy is into a feud with Bray Wyatt, as I said. So I don't know. And there is another option because it feels like Finn Balor. Well, now Finn Balor has plans, I think, but those plans are not 100% confirmed. So, in my opinion, if Finn Balor has no plans for WrestleMania yet, I think the Vince should book a six-man tag team match between um, Balor Club, Doc Carlin Balor against the New Day, or even Doc Carlin Balor against Miss Storage. But but if Balor Club against Miss Storage has to happen, that rivalry between the Miz and Finn Balor has to begin before Elimination Chamber. Because if Finn Balor is scheduled to fight Miz at WrestleMania for the EC title, Intercontinental title, the match between Balor Club and Miss Storage should happen at Elimination Chamber. But I'm going to talk about it later. Now let's talk about the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And this, I think it's the most uncertain match in my opinion. And last year there was a problem because all of those titles were into the WrestleMania card, unless the SmackDown Tag Team titles. That was a stupid idea because the match between Usos and American Alpha that was scheduled to happen at WrestleMania 33 just happened uh, 2 weeks, I think, before the WrestleMania 33 itself. And I think that wasn't pretty good to see. So this year, I hope WWE is going to make a match at WrestleMania for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles. And I think that match will involve themes like the Usos, or even New Day, Rusev and in English, Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. I think there is going to be a triple threat match between those teams that I said now. What about themes like The Ascension, Breezango, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper? I don't know if they are going to be into this tag team title match, but if they are not into this match, of course they are going to be to the Andre the Giant. That's what happened with superstars that have no plans for WrestleMania. But there is another great rumor that Authors of Pain will be into this match. I know they were or they are, I don't know exactly, but I know they were or they are the NXT Tag Team Champions, but I think they are going to, or they are going to lose the titles until WrestleMania. They are going to escape to WWE's main roster, or they are going to WrestleMania as the NXT Tag Team Champions, but to fight for the SmackDown Tag Team titles too. That would be a great idea to see Authors of Pain into this match. SmackDown's Women's title, that's another hard match to talk about because there are lots of options. For example, we could see Charlotte, Tamina, and Ruby Riott into a triple threat match, or even Charlotte against Asuka for the women's title, or even Charlotte against Ronda Rousey. I don't know, but I think we've got three valid options to happen at WrestleMania. We just have to wait to see what is going to happen. For the Raw Women's title, that's another hard match to talk about because as the SmackDown's Women's title, there are lots of options. For example, we can have Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Nia Jax into a triple threat match for the Raw Women's title, or even Asuka against Sasha Banks. Who knows if Sasha Banks is going to win that title until WrestleMania? I don't know. For the Intercontinental title, I think we've got only two valid options. The Miz against Finn Balor, and that's the one I think is going to happen because Finn Balor has no plans for WrestleMania, or the Miz against Braun Strowman. That was an idea last week. This week, the current idea is to have a match between Finn Balor and the Miz, and that's what I think is going really to happen. That's that feud. But in case of Braun Strowman against the Miz, I think they have other plans from Braun Strowman. So Braun Strowman doesn't need to be into this match, and Finn Balor against the Miz would be even better than Strowman and the Miz feud. There is a third option that I think is not actually going to happen anyway. That's to put AC3 against the Miz for the Intercontinental title. But as we know, AC3 is going to NXT, and his TNA contract doesn't end yet, because I saw last week TNA's episode and he's into TNA's yet. He's not actually into WWE as a wrestler yet, but he already appeared in WWE. So I think this third option is not happening anyway. The next match, Ronda Rousey and a mystery tag team partner against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Well, in my opinion, the Ronda's tag team partner, there are three options. Or it is going to be Braun Strowman, or Kurt Angle, or The Rock. Well, for me, I think The Rock is the most, how can I say? It is the most valid partner because, as we know, at WrestleMania 31, The Rock was on Ronda Rousey's corner and helped her with Stephanie and Triple H. But as we know, The Rock has some movies to record, and he's not able to fight because of that. It is complicated for him, so I think it is going to be Braun Strowman, because if Braun Strowman is not in a feud with The Miz, he has no plans for WrestleMania. Well, it can be an Andretti Giant Battle Royal, but last year he was on it, and it is not too pretty to see Braun Strowman into that again, especially when he's into a great character during this past year and this year, of course. And the third option is Kurt Angle, but the Kurt Angle Triple H feud, I think it was deleted from WrestleMania. It was a feud for almost a year, rumored, and feels like it is not going to happen. But if that's not going to happen, what is going to happen with Kurt Angle at this WrestleMania? Well, I think there is only one option for him at WrestleMania. That is to be the special guest referee of the battle between Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins. That's what I think is going to happen to Kurt Angle if he is not the Ronda Rousey's partner. Anyway, now let's talk about Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins. This is a match that have lots of problems. I think it is the only match with some problems because Dean Ambrose was scheduled to fight Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 34, but he had a great injury that makes him not to fight Seth Rollins. That's why he's not able to compete until WrestleMania time. But now we've got problems because both Seth and Jason Jordan, they have injuries too. But I think those injuries are weak and they are going to face each other at WrestleMania. Because last year, Seth Rollins almost forgot another Mania. Yeah, another, because at WrestleMania 32 he had an injury. And he didn't compete at that WrestleMania. At WrestleMania 33, his match against Triple H was only decided 1 week before at WrestleMania because of his injury state. So I think this year, and I hope WWE is not going to put Seth Rollins out of Mania. I really hope that. In case of Dean Ambrose, I would like to see him return at WrestleMania 34 night and start a feud with Seth Rollins. I don't know, attack him or something else. Jason Jordan against Seth Rollins with Kurt Angle as the special guest referee is going to be a great match because Jason Jordan is the supposed Kurt Angle's son. And Kurt Angle, if Kurt Angle is not the Ronda Rousey's tag team partner, I would like to see him as the special guest referee of this battle between Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins. Now let's talk about another match with a mysterious tag team partner, Shane McMahon and a mysterious tag team partner against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. This is another uncertain match because, in my opinion, Shane McMahon's tag team partner is going to be Randy Orton, and I think that's the most valid option because if Randy Orton is not into the USA title match, he has no plans for WrestleMania. And I don't want to see him out of WrestleMania, as I said moments ago. Or it's going to be Daniel Bryan. I would like to see Daniel Bryan return for one night only, at least. But I don't know if he's able even to compete one night only. Or the third option, and I think this is not going to happen because this one is too old to fight. That is Vince McMahon. I don't think this man is going to be the Shane McMahon's tag team partner. There is another option, that is to put Shane McMahon in a singles match against Bryan and Sami Zayn against Kevin Owens in a singles match too. Well, this is a completely mistake because if this is going to happen, there are going to be lots of matches into the card. That's not a great idea at all. But Sami Zayn against Kevin Owens in a singles match, I don't like that idea because that already happened in the past. But I think that is going to happen. If this tag team match is not going to happen, Sami Zayn against Kevin Owens is going to happen, and we are not going to see Shane McMahon, Bryan, or even Vince or Orton at WrestleMania. Randy Orton, yeah, we can see him, but superstars like Vince or Bryan or Shane, if this tag team match is not going to happen, we are not going to see those personas at WrestleMania. Next, John Cena against The Undertaker in a career match. I really hope this is going to happen, and of course this is going to be the last time we are going to see WrestleMania with The Undertaker as a wrestler. That's clear, the last time we are going to see it. I don't know if The Undertaker has retired last year or even at Raw 25th anniversary episode. But I think this should happen. And of course The Undertaker is going to retire. Whatever, if he win or not, well, if it is scheduled to be a career match, of course he's going to lose again. But anyway, this match has to happen, in my idea, because it was scheduled to happen at WrestleMania 32, it didn't happen. Then at WrestleMania 33, it didn't happen, so if it don't happen this year, if it doesn't happen this year, of course it is not going to happen again any other time. So you better book this rivalry. And I don't want to see John Cena against Elias at WrestleMania 34 because it appears like Cena is starting a feud with Elias for a space of only 2 weeks. That's a stupid idea. And then it feels like he's going to be into a feud with The Undertaker. And Cena is just into a feud with Elias because Samoa Joe is not able to compete. He had an injury because it was scheduled to be a feud between Samoa Joe and Cena before the Cena and the Undertaker, not Cena and Elias. But that's okay. Cena and Taker has to happen, but in my opinion, the Undertaker should return with the American Badass character, not with the Deadman character, because he left his clothes, his Deadman clothes, into the middle of that ring during WrestleMania 33. So I don't think it makes any sense for him to be a Deadman again, but yes, the American Badass. He should return with the American Badass character. Now, that's the most obvious match that is going to happen. Shinsuke Nakamura against AJ Styles for the WWE title. Okay, Shinsuke Nakamura won the title, won the Royal Rumble match, and of course he's going to face AJ Styles at WrestleMania for the WWE title. And I think that should be the main event. That should stall the whole show. Another obvious match: Lesnar against Roman Reigns for the Universal title. That is not so that obvious, because if Finn Balor is not starting a feud with The Miz, I think he should be into this match and make it into a triple threat match. But it is not so obvious, and I'm going to talk about it later. Now, Bray Wyatt against Matt Hardy, as I said, it should happen because both of those wrestlers are into a feud since November. They already fight in the past, but at this time it is a bit different because we have a new character for Matt Hardy. He's the Woken Matt Hardy. But this match, I think it should happen at WrestleMania 34, but with a higher stipulation. And why with a higher stipulation? Because, as I said, they already fight in the past. Okay, it was with a different persona of Matt Hardy. It was not Woken Matt Hardy, but even with that fact, I think it should be a match with a higher stipulation, not just a singles match again. Or I would like to see even Bray Wyatt and Sister Abigail against Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, even knowing that Sister Abigail is nothing more than another Bray Wyatt's character. But it would be great, but I don't think it is going to happen. But Matt Hardy against Bray Wyatt should happen anyway. Now let's talk about a match that I saw in some rumored, but I don't think this is going to happen anyway. It's a triple threat match between Kane, the Big Show, and Strowman to determine who is going to be the very next number one contender for the Universal title. Not to fight at WrestleMania 34 night, because it is going to be Lesnar and Roman, but to fight in the near future. I don't think this is going to happen anyway. This is a joke. Now let's talk about some injured superstars like Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, and Dean Ambrose. I already talked about Dean Ambrose and Jeff Hardy, even knowing that Jeff Hardy should be on Matt Hardy's corner in his match against Bray Wyatt. He should be on Matt Hardy's corner as a manager with his family, even because, as we know, his family is scheduled to be on WWE in the near future. We don't know exactly when, but that's okay. In case of Samoa Joe, last year Samoa Joe missed WrestleMania just like Finn Balor, but both were able to compete at WrestleMania, and WWE just let them out of WrestleMania. This year, that's sad to see, but I wouldn't like to see Samoa Joe out of WrestleMania. Samoa Joe's dream was to fight Jinder Mahal at WrestleMania 34. I saw it in an interview with Samoa Joe, and that's what I'm going to do with my WrestleMania 34 extras. That's the thing that I make all of those years. That I make nothing more than to put superstars into the card that are not able to fight because of injured problems. So, but in real WrestleMania, sorry Samoa Joe, but I think you're not going to be at WrestleMania because of your injury. Next match, Sasha Banks against Bayley. As I said, this is a match that if it has to happen, it's going to be a feud to start at Elimination Chamber night, or even the week after, because both that is going to be a good match in my opinion, because both have no match for WrestleMania. Next match, Pete Dunne against Tyler Bate for the United Kingdom title. Well, I think this is a pathetic idea, because last year it happened, it was scheduled even to happen at some rumor for WrestleMania 33, and it didn't happen. This year, if it has to happen just at NXT TakeOver, I don't think this is going to happen anyway, but it should happen. Now let's talk about Hall of Famers. We already have got Dudley Boyz and Goldberg, but I think there are going to be other superstars like Ivory or even Mark Henry or even Kid Rock, because I think he's going to perform his WrestleMania theme song at WrestleMania, or even Big Show or Batista, because Batista, it appeared that he wanted a full contract for a period of 6 months or even a year, but I think that we only wants him to fight one more time. Wanted him to fight one more time, and he didn't want that. So I think he should be into the Hall of Fame class of 2018. Or even The Rock, I don't know. There should be a match between Batista and The Rock or Goldberg, but I don't think this is going to happen anyway. As I said, Lesnar and Roman Reigns' feud is not so that obvious, because Batista can be involved as a surprise opponent during that night, or even Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley has a contract with WWE after WrestleMania, I think. But I think he should debut at that WrestleMania night and attack Lesnar to start a feud with him after WrestleMania, with Lesnar, of course. Now let's talk about possible returns. Rey Mysterio, as I said, into the Cruiserweight title match. Lashley into the Universal title match with Lesnar, as I said. CM Punk, last year I believed that he's going to return. This year, I don't believe that he's going to return anyway. In case of Batista, as I said, he can return at WrestleMania 34 night to attack, to be into the Universal title match, but I don't think so. EC3 is into the NXT roster. I don't think so. And The Rock, I think The Rock should have a surprise match during that WrestleMania 34 night against Chris Jericho. I don't know why, but this, I think it's going to be a great idea. Or even Jericho against Kenny Omega. Omega, a rematch of NGPW. Well, that's all for tonight. So, I hope you enjoyed my preview of WrestleMania 34. Good morning. Just the last thing. I would like to see Chris Jericho against Kenny Omega at WrestleMania 34, the NGPW rematch, but I think it is not going to happen. Of course it is not going to happen. Maybe at my WrestleMania extras, who knows. But in real WrestleMania, it's not going to happen, of course. And now I can say goodbye. That's all for today.